Bandwidth for all shows on the Aussie Tech Heads network is supplied by Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting. For a fast, affordable and reliable Australian server with fantastic support, contact Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting at aussietechheads.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's best hosting service.
G'day, everyone. It's episode 366 Aussie Tech Heads. How are you? Don't forget athwebhosting.com.au in there, just like that. First off the ranks. Yes, if you need a web hosting for your blog or your business website, sick of who you're with at the moment, athwebhosting.com.au. Come on over. Give me a call. All right, so welcome to Aussie Tech Heads. This is, what is today? The 7th of November, 2013. Oh, it's the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who is coming up closer and closer. Woo. And I'm going to see it at the cinema. I don't know about everyone else. Jace is here. Is Jace going to see it at the cinema? Hello, Jace.
I would like to.
Yeah.
I'll have to see if I'm going to go 3D or not, though. It would be very tempting.
Yeah, I think, the one I'm doing is 3D, so that's going to be good. But $25. Yep. So, I don't know. But anyway, I've already bought the ticket. I'm in.
So that means today is 7-Eleven.
It is 7-Eleven. That's right.
And don't forget, you can get your free Slurpee this week.
If 7-Eleven shops never close, why do they have locks on their doors? I don't know.
Mystery.
That is one of life's mysteries.
24-hour shops, aren't they?
I don't know, but would have made a good joke. Now, how's Shane going? How you doing, Shane?
I'm good. Yeah, much better this week. The jet lag's out the way, and I'm back in the swing of things. So everything's good.
You're in
down at the beach.
Yes, you're in the. You're not working. You're the beach bum, and sitting at the beach having fun, watching the hang gliders not go very far because there's not much wind. By the look of them. All right.
Looks like kite surfers.
Well, there they go. They just changed. All right, Shane's got the beach webcam as his background tonight, and then the picture changes every 5 minutes or so. So let's keep an eye out in the background. Might see something. Ooh la la. Okay. It's the show. Welcome. What else have we got to do at the top of the show? What about the radio? Hey, AussieTechRadio.com. Go and have a listen to that. 24/7 tech shows in a Shoutcast stream. Round and around they go. And it's all for you. And you can tune in. Shoutcast app. Search for Aussie Tech Heads. Grab the app. Grab the shows. Come in whenever you like. Whatever's on is on. And you get to listen to it. You might find something new that you haven't heard for before. So let's giddy up. All right. So let's start off with an email. We got an email through the week. Shane was in America not too long ago. And he's returned. And we've got an email about... from Stuart. Love the show. Have been listening since episode 1. That is a mighty effort, Stuart. That is a mighty, mighty effort.
Poor bastard.
It sure is. In fact, we were only saying this last week, I think, just after the show, actually. It didn't dawn on us while we were recording, but episode 365, that is one show a day for a year. Yeah. So you can listen to
Champion. Maybe that's how he did it.
Maybe. We're going to release the back catalogue.
I think it is all still up on the internet, if you can be bothered. It is all still up there. The feed doesn't go back that far, but the shows are up on archive.org, if anyone's interested. And you can hear episode 1 back in those heady days, of 2006. Yeah, those were the days when I used to have a beer through the show back then, but not anymore. Got more serious. Back to Stuart's email.
Sure, I did.
Back to his email.
More professional.
Yeah, it would be good to hear from Mark again on an upcoming episode. So it would be. So we might see if we can get Mark. Maybe he works Thursday night, so it's sometimes a bit hard, but sometimes he does pop out into the laneway and rings us up. So let's see if we can do that one week just for you, Stuart. Our last episode, Shane talked about the US holiday. I was there with family too around the same time. We also went to Disneyland. He could have walked past Shane without knowing, yeah, probably. For our trip, I purchased US SIM cards. That's right. Shane was talking about how hard it was to get a SIM card for a prepaid phone when he hit the shores of the USA. So Stuart bought his SIM cards before he left Australia. He bought them from a site called mobipassport.com.au. MOBI passport.com.au for $20 each. So, yeah, thanks, Stuart, for that bit of info. He also got prepaid plan AT&T before the holiday. He chose a $60 plan that included unlimited calls within the US and 2 gigs of data per month. That's all right. For an extra $5, he also got 250 minutes of calls back to Australia. Yeah, so it looks like mobipassport.com.au if anyone's out there travelling overseas. Go and get on them a couple of weeks probably before you go so you can, have time for them to come in the post. But, yeah, so that's a good shame. You'll be doing that next time, I guess.
Yeah, next time I will be, yeah. The only reason why I didn't do that this time or anything like that is because everyone I spoke to gave me the impression that it'd be a lot easier to get it all sorted once I get over there. Just, buy a throwaway SIM card, a prepaid SIM card, and away you go. But like I was saying last week, it was just so hard to find somewhere that was convenient for me to get one.
It's hard to get good help these days, I tell you, fair dinkum.
Yeah, true.
Yes. So Stuart goes on. He says he also a tech-related purchase in the US. He bought a Smebble. A Smebble
Potch. I like those Smebble Potches. They're awesome.
They're not too bad, are they?
Get one.
Yeah, I want one too. I can't wait. A Pebble smartwatch. So, and he's pretty happy with it. I emailed him back and said, do you use it? Because I thought, once the novelty wears off, why do you still use it? And yes, he does. He uses it, and particularly because it will it tells him on the watch if his iPhone or whatever's ringing, and it also comes up with a number. So he said he found it useful for looking at the number, just glancing down at his watch without getting the phone out. And if he didn't want to answer it, he didn't answer it. Didn't have to get his phone out of his pocket. You know that hassle. I hate that hassle. And yeah, so cool. Now, Jace, I think you had something to say about Pebbles. Not the Flintstones.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something in the email as well. Pebble smartwatches gained new capabilities on Wednesday thanks to a second version of the Pebble software development kit, a new iOS app that improves iOS notifications. They've always been able to display caller IDs, SMS messages, and email notifications from an iPhone linked via Bluetooth, but now they are fully integrated with the iOS 7 notification center so that any notifications you enable on your iOS device will appear on your wrist.
Nice.
That means the Pebbles notifications now display works with iOS devices just as well as the Android. And another improvement is for the first time it enables Bluetooth low energy support, which is in the iPhone. It's been in the hardware all the time, but it's not been used or enabled. So major firmware updates and other data heavy functions can still be sent over classic Bluetooth, but notifications will be pushed via LE, which should conserve the battery. When the update comes down for the new version of the Pebble operating system, you're going to have to get new copies of your apps as well, because the old apps won't run because there's so much changed on it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's no good. But Pebbles are, yes, I don't know. I think the watches might be growing on me. I don't know, but they might. I'll wait till the Apple one comes out, have a look at it.
And Google and
that's right.
Else.
And Google, that's right. Everyone else, and
Microsoft apparently.
Oh dear, will it work with Windows, or will they bring out a new operating system? Who knows? And so Stuart, to finish off, Stuart, the best tech-related tourist attraction that he visited while in the US was the Space Shuttle Endeavour, which is housed in the California Science Museum. It was spectacular, so that's good. So if anyone's going over there, put that on your itinerary.
I wanted to see that. It was, I think I said to you earlier this afternoon, the plan was for me to actually go and see that. I was going to take my eldest, and the youngest and Maria were going to go to the zoo. But we were staying in North Hollywood, and no one could categorically tell us where it was, how to get there, whether it was a taxi fare that was going to cost $200, or whether you could get there through the subway system or what. So we poo-pooed the idea, and I went to the Staples Center instead, and the rest of them just stayed back at the hotel. That was our last day that we were actually there. But yeah, so the plan is when we go back, if we go back, and we go to the East Coast, is to go and see the one that's in Orlando or somewhere in Florida. I think there's another one at the Kennedy Space Center.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, good stuff. That's something that would interest me as well. So next time I go over, I'll go and
email me your photos, Stuart.
There you go. Shane with a Y at aussietechheads.com.au. Now, also live every Thursday night, we do record the show at 7:30 Queensland time. And if you want to know what time that is where you are, just go to the webpage, aussietechheads.com.au/podcast, and you will find the times wherever you are, including a UTC time. See if I've converted it correctly. So good. That's good, isn't it? Yes, I had something else to say then, but I completely forgot. Yeah, just live. Tune in live, aussietechheads.com.au/live. And before the show, Tech Webcast. We replay Tech Webcast from the previous Saturday, and that comes from around 7 p.m. Depends on how long their show goes. Might be earlier. All right. Study shows playing video games really can make your brain bigger. That's all right.
Are we doing that now, are we?
Yeah, why? Oh,
Okay.
your little thing. Oh, right, sorry. Oh, well, we'll do this.
Oh, no. What are you doing?
I know.
I wasn't
I just
trying
mixed,
to stuff you around.
I just mixed the format
Steal
up,
the
you know.
thunder, steal the
Make it-
thunder.
making sure they're on, you know, they got the finger on the pulse there. But anyway, well, let's do this because I put the graphic up, so I can't not do it.
Yeah,
now.
go on.
Study shows that playing video games really can make your brain bigger. So that's cool. Playing Super Mario 64 of all things for 30 minutes a day over 2 months. 30 minutes a day, that's not long. Over 2 months increased adult volunteers' brain volume in their right hippocampus, the right prefrontal cortex, and the cerebellum. These regions in the brain are responsible for memory formation, strategic planning, muscle control, and spatial navigation. So researchers found a significant grey matter increase among the gamers and theorise that playing video games could be useful to treat brain disorders. So there you go. Anyone that tells you to stop playing games, you tell them it's doing you good. All right?
And that grant for that research was courtesy of Nintendo, was it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it was a communal one. Nintendo, Sony, Xbox, you know, all that sort of stuff. But so that's but that's always been sort of thought, you know, like especially for reflexes. You know, it's always thought that games help kids and that grow with reflexes. You know, get them faster and stuff because you got to, you know, whatever you do, shoot and stuff. But now
they socialise with the games as well. It's not just a single player thing where you're alienated socially and that sort of thing. You know, my daughter plays Minecraft and she's always in Skype with a few of her friends around her age and talking. So it's not just a single thing. It's all social now.
Yeah. That is exactly right. All right, now I'm just interested to know why you didn't pop up on the screen then, Jace. But let's see. We'll have to. We'll go to Shane.
Yeah, I had to hold me burping.
Well, I don't know why you're not popping up. I'll have a look at that. Well, Shane's he's hankering to do his this week in tech history. So hanker away, Shane.
All right. Let's see. What are all the techie ones? November 1st, 1963, the largest radio telescope ever constructed, the Arecibo Observatory, opened in Arecibo, Puerto Rico. I should have read that before I picked that one. It would be used as many major discoveries, including the first direct imaging of an asteroid.
Ooh.
Moving on. Any other techie ones? On November 3rd, 1973, NASA launched a Mariner 10 towards Mercury. It would become the first space probe to reach the planet.
Nice.
Also on November 3rd, 1992, Tim Berners-Lee posted a page describing the World Wide Web. It's the oldest page still served on the web, but they didn't provide a link. This is courtesy of Tom Merritt and his Chronology of Tech, if anyone's interested.
I suppose you could Google the oldest page on the net, couldn't you? That'd tell you.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, if you're interested.
Yeah, I guess you could. Any more techie ones further down? North Carolina student. Oh, yeah, here we go. University of North Carolina student radio station WXYC began what is considered to be the world's first internet radio broadcast. DJ Michael Schaffner set it up. The simulcast continues as of 2012, and that'll do.
When did that start? Sorry, when did that start?
That was November 7, 1994.
Oh, wow, that long ago. Wowzers. All right, thanks, Shane. That's good. Now, you had a little space story in there. And look, I've got another one just to go on with that theme. How's that? Lady Gaga, we all know who she is, will be performing in space. blasting off into outer space. Can you believe it? In 2015 on a Virgin Galactic ship. Can you believe this? And now,
Oh, so it's not actually just a recording of her. She's actually going up.
she's up there, baby. Her unearthly jam session will reportedly coincide with the Zero G Colony Tech Festival in New Mexico, and she will become the first celebrity musician to sing in space. Now, last year, astronaut Chris Hadfield. Now, I've got that little bit of Chris. Here we go. We'll wait till he gets going and we'll have a listen to him. Last year, astronaut Chris Hadfield recorded a song aboard the International Space Station. He also made the first intergalactic music video when he covered David Bowie's Space Oddity in a zero-gravity video. So this zero-gravity is pretty serious. They haven't got their feet on the ground, have they? So here we go. Well, let's tune into a bit of his song done in the International Space Station. Oh, is that too loud? We'll try and get to a chorus, eh? Hang on. Oh, that's nice. Are you having fun on audio?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the instrumental break.
About Katy Perry singing in space, as we know, in space nobody can hear you, so...
That's right. But anyway, you get the idea.
Gaga.
Yeah, Lady Gaga. Not Katy. You got Katy Perry on the brain today. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we got a Katy Perry story later on. We both do, but you deleted yours. But you can still say it. All right. So yeah,
I had a different one, but it wasn't tech related.
They're all the same person, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So anyway, so that's it. Lady Gaga. She's off into space. So good luck to her. All right, Warlock. Stories, please. Where you want to take us?
Stories. Googlers say screw you to the NSA and encrypts their internal network. After it was revealed from Edward Snowden that the NSA were intercepting Google's data, which was unencrypted on their side of the network where nobody could hack into it anyway, they decided that they're going to encrypt their internal network, effectively halting the broad surveillance of its inner workings by the joint NSA-GCHQ program known as Muscular. The move turns off a giant source of information to the two agencies, which at one point accounted for nearly a third of the NSA's daily data intake for its primary intelligence analysis database, at least for now.
Wow.
The Washington Post shared additional slides produced by the NSA on the Muscular program, which tapped into the fiber optic networks carrying traffic to and from Google's and Yahoo's overseas data centers. The slides indicate the data from the networks frequently reach daily intelligence briefing provided to President Barack Obama. They cited this joint operation with GHCQ as the 15th largest source of intelligence data for those briefings. Slides also revealed the NSA obtained an intimate understanding of the internal operations of these networks, which suggests they either launch a significant reverse engineering operation to pry apart Google's and Yahoo's secrets or obtain this information from people who work for the two companies. So now all the data is encrypted and the NSA is lost. Hooray.
Yeah. Yes. Well, anyway, I suppose that's just the easy answer, isn't it? Just encrypt your stuff and to hell with everyone. But yeah. So what sort of like data is it? Like just general data that I suppose they just want to
anything
snoop.
from Google and anything from Yahoo. They had special programs that were written to be able to read Gmail and Yahoo Mail.
Right.
It had hooks into G Plus and Yahoo profiles and everywhere that they could get information from.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you sort of, I don't know. You sort of don't know if it's right or wrong. I suppose, because like on one side of the fence, well, it's probably trying and helping to keep everyone safe, and then on the other side of the fence, well, you don't want people just snooping around in your, in your private day-to-day chats and stuff.
Yeah, I don't want anyone looking around in my privates. Thank you very much.
No. But talking about that, Apple reveals that the Australian government also receives requests for user data. At least they receive the request. NSA just take. They don't even request. But according to Apple, the Australian government has made 74 requests relating to information on 75 accounts over the first half of 2013 till the end of June. Now, responding to an account request usually involves information about an account holder's iTunes or iCloud account, such as the name and address of the holder.
We want to know what kind of music terrorists listen to. Is that Lady Gaga in space or is it Katy Perry? We demand to know. We need to know these things.
In very rare cases, we are asked to provide stored photos or email. But we consider these requests very carefully and only provide account content in extremely limited circumstances. Well, let me tell you that if the government requests something, they're going to get it. So I don't know where they pretty much get off.
You know what kind of personal photos they want to be looking at?
Julia. Now we consider that these. I find that the amusing line in that Apple's statement was, "We consider these requests very carefully and only provide account content in extremely limited circumstances." Well, I reckon that's all BS. You know, like if the government requests it, they get
Apple and Google are now fighting through the courts to be able to release exactly how many of what kind of requests they've been asked from the governments, because at the moment they're allowed to say, well, we received somewhere between 0 and 10,000 requests in the last 12 months. And the types of requests we receive between 0 and 8,000 regarding photos, 0 and 5,000 between, and they just have to be as vague as possible because they're not allowed to give exact numbers or they'll be sued.
Well, I know the Commonwealth Bank, going down a similar sort of path, I guess. The Commonwealth Bank writes to you if Centrelink is looking into your accounts. Well, they don't say, obviously, they wouldn't know why, but they will send you a letter and say, we've received requests for information of your accounts from Centrelink. So
good on them.
Yeah, I know. So if you're doing something wrong, well, you've been tipped off. So stop it. Yeah. So okay. So, but when you read the terms and conditions of anything, if it's a credit card, if it's a bank account, if it's the video shop, or even if it's even like on our web hosting, athwebhosting.com.au, even on there, terms and conditions there, we can't give the information, and no one can give the information over because of the privacy restrictions, but unless it's requested by law enforcement under certain sections of legislation. And then you got to do it. You've got no choice. So anyway, good on Apple for having a go to stop it anyway. Shane, you got a good story for us?
Yes, boss. I will do my Google one that followed on from my Google one from last week.
Okay.
Right, so Google has finally broken its silence when it comes to these floating barges. They've claimed responsibility. They're saying, yes, they're their barges. But it's got nothing to do with, it's not a big party boat. It's got nothing to do with Google Glass necessarily, or it's not a big floating kind of equivalent Apple kind of shop. What they are saying is that it's early days and things may change, but they're looking at using these barges to allow people to play with new technology and learn about new technology and that sort of thing. Why you'd want to go to the trouble of going out on a floating barge and not just go to a regular kind of building for that sort of thing, I don't know. But I guess if you Google and you've got a truckload of money, you can waste it on stupid things like barges.
It's like they don't want any intruders. It's like we've got our moat. They've always wanted a moat, and now
Plus
they got
it's
one.
probably cheaper than buying land in the middle of
It probably is. It probably is. But I wonder, how did this story get out? Or was there just someone just looking at barges? I wonder what's on that one.
They've never seen them before.
Yeah.
There's one on each coast, so that's what got people going.
Oh, okay.
Some were saying that they can use the power of the up and down movement of the water to generate electricity, and I was wondering if they were going to be powered by Google Wave.
Yes.
Boom, boom.
Blockbuster. Yes. Sorry. Did I cut someone off then? No.
I just went boom, boom.
Okay. Well, Blockbuster to close its last remaining stores in the US. Oh, remember Blockbuster? I think we've still got them over here. Not too many though. They are just about.
Yeah, years ago they wanted to merge with Netflix wanted to merge with them, and Blockbuster said, "No, we're really big and no one's interested in streaming. Go away, you stupid people." Oh, it did.
Yeah, so Dish Network, which acquired Blockbuster in a bankruptcy auction, in 2011, announced Wednesday that the chain will lose all but its 50 remaining stores in the US by January next year. So that's like 2 months. The brand will instead move to a streaming-only model. Netflix, Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, that thing those guys suggested we do like 5 years ago.
Yeah, we
Let's
remember
do
those
that.
guys. Blockbuster has had 9,000 retail stores worldwide as of the end of 2004, but struggled in the face of competition from the movie delivery service. So we all know what's going on there, don't we? Just everyone gets
Yeah,
movies.
who wants to go out in the rain to buy a scratch DVD these days?
Oh, exactly. Like,
My wife,
yeah.
against my judgment and my jumping up and down, bought Forrest Gump on DVD the other day.
Bought it, but as in to own.
Yes. To own, yeah, because you know what kids are like. I mean, they'll watch a movie over and over again. And one of the things we went to see when we were over in America is there's a chain of restaurants called Bubba Gump, and they're seafood restaurants.
Yep.
And that's apparently part of the movie.
Yes. Yeah, I think.
Well, you want to do that because they're just saying recently in tech news as well that Disney Pixar has pulled a lot of their stuff out of the Apple streaming and Netflix and Amazon. Even if you've paid for the download of it and not streaming it, you've actually paid to download it to your computer and not the rental part of it.
Yep.
They took it out so that you have to go and buy the actual DVDs as well now, so you've double paid for it. So a lot of people go, well, screw that, BitTorrent.
Yep, that's exactly what forces people to do these type of things. Like, why on earth would you want to pay twice for something? You know what I mean? Like,
why would you pay twice? Why would you put it on and then sit through 10 minutes of ads and then sit through warnings to stop you being a pirate?
Yes, that's
Well,
right.
you're not being a pirate because you just paid for the damn thing.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, look, it's great. And if you did get a pirated copy, all that stuff's taken out anyway, so you don't see it.
Yeah, awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So isn't it like, why locks were invented to keep the innocent people out? So that's all it is. All right, now here's an interesting one. Oh, whose story was that? Shane's. Jace, give us another one. Do you want to do another one?
Okay. YouTube started rolling out its new commenting system based on Google+. In September, YouTube announced that it would soon roll out a new commenting system powered by Google+. After testing it on channel discussion tabs for a few weeks, it's now starting to roll out to all videos on the site. Given the size of YouTube, this rollout will start this week, but it'll take some time before it's fully effective. Until then, you may see both systems on the site, depending on which video you're watching. It's no secret that YouTube comments aren't exactly a hotbed for smart conversations. Troll. So the company hopes this change will increase the quality of comments by putting the emphasis on conversations and not on one-off comments. The idea here is to ensure that YouTube comments will become conversations that matter to you. Instead of organizing comments by chronology, as they are now, first post, YouTube will now rank them by relevancy, taking into account and who wrote a comment, plus ones, the number of replies, and other signals to surface the best comments to bubble up to the top.
Yeah, look, it probably is a bit of a worry, because you put something, maybe even half controversial up there, and you get all the wags going crazy, Just, I suppose an example would be, I don't know, to think of an example just off the top of my head, say maybe, how at the Melbourne Cup the horse had to be put down because it broke its leg. Now that was controversial, and so say someone puts out an image or a YouTube video of the RSPCA wanting to save the horses. Well, then all the pro racing people, they get on there and just trash it. So there's got to be some sort of balance in some sort of way, and which ends up leads to say the companies or the producers of these videos, they just ban the comments, which is no good either, because you still want to know what people think about it as well. It's a good little tool.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing for video creators. The Google Plus commenting system includes better ways to moderate comments. They can now block certain words, auto-approve comments from certain fans, and still review comments before they're posted.
Well, blocking certain words would be good. Because they get a run for their money, some of the words around the joint.
Noob.
Fire truck.
Yes. Now, here's an interesting story. I don't know if you guys seen this one. Well, it's not actually a story. Well, I suppose it's in a way. But how would you be building a Formula One model car out of nothing but hard drive parts? Can you believe it?
Whoa.
I know. Look, and now, if you're listening to us on the audio this week, you must go to the show notes, aussietechheads.com.au/podcast, go to the show notes, grab the link, and have a look at the pictures of these F1 cars made from hard drive parts, because I'm going to flash through them on the video so the people on the video can have a look at them.
I
Yeah.
see it, but I don't believe it.
Now, the WD, because that's Western, we've got another Western Digital story coming up. Maybe this is what the drives are good for. If you bought 250 drives for your Macs, maybe you could make them into a car. The WF1 car looks like a real remote control car, and it's comprised of 5 spindle motors and 2 voice coil motors. The front wheel hubs are from 10,000 RPM drive motors. And the rear hubs are from the 7,200 RPM 40 motors. Well, there you go. Isn't it good? The swooping body sides are the anti-discs from the red hard drives. The race car driver's head. Have I got a picture of his head? There we go. The race car driver's head is a 4-disc motor populated with disc spacers. The V12 engine hood scoops above the driver's head are the Yeah, go and have a look at it. That's too. I can't even read it. The V12 engine hood scoops above the driver's head are the full anti-discs from the 4-disc drives that were trimmed to fit. Oh, just go and have a look at it. It's just
The
out.
front of it looks dangerous.
Yeah, I know. The front of it looks like, are they like drive spindles? Oh, not the spindle, the heads. Yeah.
Yeah.
The suspension is made from WD Black 40 disc actuators, brass tubes and torque screws. Everything is from, I think pretty much everything is from these hard drives. The center actuator
Looks like
was
something
trimmed.
from a Stephen King horror novel. It's going to come and slice you up. Combine harvester or something.
Yeah, Edward drive heads. The rear diffuser is a stack of VCM magnets and steel from a Velis something drive. Can't even pronounce it. So yeah, so look at that. It's pretty awesome. And apparently it
What's
all
the matter, mate? Follow a
I'd
dictionary
buy
or
one of
something,
them.
yeah?
Yeah, apparently it all powers up, and the little driver's head there spins around, and it's got LED lights flashing all over the show.
Like R2D2.
Yes. There it is. There, little LEDs flashing around the joint. Yeah, so that's just awesome, isn't it? The engine, the V12 engine, is made from WD Scorpio actuators from smaller notebook hard drives. The transmission directly behind the motor is made of stacks of Scorpio VCM magnets, and the differential is a stack of spindle motor windings from many different motors. The body of the car, LED lights, as I said. Go and have a look. There you go.
This is what happens when geeks don't have lives.
That's
Or
right.
jobs.
But how's that, eh? How's that? That's awesome. But
It's nice.
what is? Look, let's go back to the first. We'll end on the first picture because that was sort of like the overview
They
of the
call
car.
it geek porn, right?
Yes.
I'd
How's
buy
that?
one of them.
Yeah, it's
Depending
pretty
how much
cool. It doesn't actually work as a remote control car, but it's it looks pretty cool. I think
You
it's
can
pretty.
push it along the ground going.
Yeah, but look, if you're on the audio, go and check that out. That's wild. Now, I think someone else had a WD story. Who was that? While we were on it, hard drive. Shane.
Well, there's the two stories. There's the one where they were having problems with the Apple, which you guys covered on Tuesday.
but we do that
which
one
I know
again.
next to nothing.
Yeah, do that
And
one
then
again.
there's the Helium one.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do the hard drive one OSX because that's a nasty one. Yeah, we did cover it. Shane is right. We did talk about this on Tuesday night. If you missed the Aussie Mac Zone, but anyway, this is pretty general and important news, so that's why I thought I'd bring it up again in here. The Apple's new OS X Mavericks doesn't like Western Digital drives. Now, what is happening is I'll find the graphic if I've got one for that. I don't know if I've got one or not, but anyway, I'll keep. Oh, here we go. That's my graphic right there. Ah.
That looks a bit graphic.
Yeah. So the Western Digital has warned Apple users that this is so bad. This is really bad. This could turn a lot of people off Western Digital drives for their backup machines or whatever you got going. But anyway, Western Digital has warned Apple users against upgrading their software to Mavericks after some external drives were wiped clean of data. The problem appears to be a conflict between Mavericks and Western Digital's own management software. As one poster on the Western Digital forum, that they had previously warned of the problem, warned Western Digital of the problem as far back as 7th of October when he was testing Mavericks. So that, what's that? A month ago today. So the company, until the issue is understood and the cause identified, Western Digital strongly urges customers to uninstall software applications before updating to OS X Mavericks. Now, software applications meaning the WD Drive Manager, WD RAID Manager, WD Smartware software applications. So, and they've removed those from the downloads of the site as well. So there's a bit of problems.
They got conflicts.
Conflicts, that's right.
I don't like conflicts. I prefer rice bubbles myself.
Yes, conflicts are all right with bananas. Now, if you're already upgraded to Mavericks, Western Digital recommends that you remove the affected applications and restart your computer to avoid any data loss. It's not very reassuring, is it really? No. Like, if I had a Mac and I had somewhere in the mix, I had a Western Digital drive and I was updated to Mavericks, I think I'd be just putting that Western Digital aside and going and buying another one. I just, you wouldn't risk it. You can't risk it.
I hope you got Time Machine backup turned on and somewhere backing up stuff that's not a WD.
Yeah, well, that's right. If it is even in your Time Machine, like, you can still be stuffed. It's crazy. Like, yeah, look, whose fault is this? Like, does it come down to, well, Western Digital's been plugging along for years and years and years and years, and no dramas. But then, is it Apple's fault that all of a sudden, they've got conflicts, and it's because Apple's bought out Maverick? So, who's?
Well, you think they would have tested on Macs which have Western Digital drives in them?
Well, you think Apple would have? You mean?
Well, if the Macs usually have Western Digital in them, and Apple has upgraded their own ones to Mavericks, then they would have noticed.
But it's not the internal hard drives that's the problem, is it? It's the external, enclosed hard drive thingos that are the problem.
I don't think it would matter.
They're the ones that bloatware stuff. It's not the internal ones that come with the bloatware, is it?
No, you're probably right. But whatever Western Digital drive, if you've got these drive, it just doesn't go good for the whole situation. Like, you couldn't convince me. You couldn't convince me. I couldn't care what drive it was. I'd be putting the WDs aside. Like,
yeah. I mean, with Apple having the problem with batteries going flat in the 5S, the image retention on the Retina Max, and this, and also the Compass, they've got a lot of problems happening at the moment. And I hope people don't start losing faith in Apple products, which have always been, 100% perfect.
Yeah, look,
apart from the antenna game.
Yeah, well, but I believe in this instance that you could probably lay a bit of blame at Apple's feet, but I think Western Digital are going to pay for it heavily. I reckon that's yeah. But anyway, what's your Western Digital story, Shane? Please.
My one is, I think someone else has got this too, so feel free to fill in the gaps where I miss things out. But digital storage is always getting cheaper and more capacious or spacious. I think that's a better word. But Western Digital has planned to fill it in with helium to make hard drives way more efficient than ever before. The story goes on to basically say that the current hard drives have just got air inside them, and the spindles or the drives can only spin so fast before drag kicks in and starts to slow them down because of the thickness of air. So the theory is that you can put helium inside them. You can put more You can put more spinning drives inside the actual hard drives. Therefore, you can hold more capacity, which in a single probably hard drive doesn't really mean much. But the story goes on to sort of highlight that if you're using them in data centers, then the savings become, or the difference becomes quite a lot. Yeah, it goes on to say at the bottom of the story, a lot
less friction with the air if it's helium.
Yeah,
exactly. So it goes on to say in larger scale, deploying 11 petabytes of storage using current drive technology requires 12 racks, 2,980 hard drives, and about 33 kilowatts of power. And using this helium technology, that goes down, and it weighs, it goes on to say how much it weighs. But then if you run using the new technology, that goes down to, you could do it with 8 racks and 1,920 individual drives and run them at 14 kilowatts. So
The only
it's
problem
cheaper
with
and
that
better.
is the world is running out of helium. It's not an infinite resource. We can't synthesize it out of anything, and it's found in natural gas. So once it's gone, and helium prices are going up,
Wow.
skyrocketing, because the world is running out of helium. At some stage, we won't have any left.
Yeah, right. Gee, I didn't think you could run out of helium. I thought that'd be
Mm.
everywhere. Oh, that's no good. Run out of everything.
It's
Yeah.
it's an inert gas or whatever they call it.
Yeah, okay. Well, in sort of some stats that probably matter to me, that means that the HGST. Now, this is the company that is punching these little fellas out, and it is a subdivision of Western Digital. That's why the relation between the two stories.
Uh-oh.
Now, the reduced friction and temperature means discs can spin for longer or less power, so allowing HGST to pack in 7 platters and increase storage to 6 terabytes from the usual 4 terabytes. So that's what matters.
Nice.
Hey, storage, that's what matters. Yes. So they say since the drive shouldn't experience the same wear and tear, they should last longer and therefore cost less in the long run. Unless, as Warlock says, the helium price increases.
Hopefully by then flash drives will be so cheap it won't matter.
Flash
I
me
was
up.
going to say, why are they worrying about older technology? But I suppose my story went on to say that it's going to be released probably to the enterprise market first, before it comes to to us.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you might be able to put like 100 hard drives into a server rack, and maybe it'll just float around the office. Who knows? All right.
Make them easier to carry if they're made out of helium, right?
That's right. You don't
Helium balloons just float up, so
That's
you might
right.
have to tie down your servers there, Glenn, in the data center to make sure they don't go floating away.
You'll see at the end of life of all these helium drives, you just see people there just sucking the helium out.
Well, this is really good, isn't it? I really love these servers.
That's right.
Aussie Techheads Web Hosting is the best company in the world.
You might as well get your fun with them, might you? If they're no good anymore, you might as well, suck the life out of them. All right,
But
Jace.
make sure you breathe in oxygen and helium at the same time because it's toxic and you don't want to die.
No, that's right. Yeah, I don't do that too much. That's a silly thing to do. All right, Jace, what have you got?
Microsoft Australia is concerned about Malcolm Turnbull's NBN. Their managing director has voiced concerns over the future of the fibre to the node strategy currently being considered by Communication Minister Malcolm Turnbull, revealing that it's lobbying the government over the plan. Yes. Speaking at a CETA event in Sydney, Microsoft's Australian MD Pip Marlow said that the fibre to the home would be superior for upload speeds over the current fibre to the node system. She added that Microsoft Australia is currently lobbying the government to try and understand how people will be using the fibre to the node system in the long run.
Well, fibre to the node, well, that's right. When's it all going to happen anyway? Well, I don't care if I get node or home. I need something.
It won't happen overnight, but it will happen.
I need fibre to the something, and I need it now. I don't care what it's to I just need it.
4G is all you need, man. You know, they've been saying with the new iPad Air over in the States, just on the standard 4G network, they're getting download speeds of up to 90.
But yeah, that's pretty good. But that's all right. Like even 4G speeds, I'd be happy with. I'd be happy with 4G up and down speeds. That I think in a full bar scenario here on the Goldie, I could. I haven't done one for a while, a speed test for a while. But before, when I suppose it was fairly new, like into the middle of surface, and you could get 60 down and 50 up. It was. Yeah,
and you get 1 gig for that.
Yeah, that's right. It's gone in 3 seconds. Yeah. So, but like, if you could get more, obviously more more bandwidth, if you want data usage. If you get bigger data usage than just 1 gig, well, for sure, I'd be using that. No worries at all. None at all. All right. Look, we're talking about Microsoft. I do have I've got probably a couple of little Microsoft stories. The Aussie sales of Windows Phone double as Androids sinks.
They're selling 2 of them now.
That's the 2 phones.
Yeah, it's doubled.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah, so Windows Phone. Look, I've always been for Windows Phone. I reckon they'd be all right if they can do what they say they do. The Windows Phone share of the Australian smartphone sales has doubled in the past year, while Android has slumped. I love the wording, like it hasn't really gone that bad, but Android hasn't gone that bad. But I mean, the wording slumped, sinks.
Wow. Android screwed. Time to move on to something else. Microsoft got the answer there, the winner, of course.
According to the latest figures from Kantar World Panel, Windows increased its sales share from 4.6% in the 3 months to September 2012 to 9.3% in the most recent quarter. So that's a fair jump. But I mean, if you're coming from a low base anyway, well, it wouldn't matter if it's compared to the market. No, it wouldn't matter, would it? So that's a big jump. That's pretty good. They'd be happy with that. Android sinking? I don't know. I don't think so. But I think that the Windows phones will be more popular as time goes by. I think if they can make everything work together. Could you imagine coming home or wherever you are, you're integrating with your desktop, you go past into the lounge room, you're integrating with your Xbox, and you're just integrating all over the place. You're a walking integrator.
Yeah, well, you're going to clean it up after that.
Yes. You always got to clean up your integrations.
If you're integrating all over the place.
That's right. You gotta watch out for that. Microsoft arrives at the top 5 CEO shortlist. Cool. Okay, so everyone knows Steve Ballmer is leaving within 12 months. It's still a mystery to actually when. I wonder if he's going to do a video like Gatesy did. Last day in the office and all, pump and iron, all that sort of stuff.
Well, he's done a goodbye video already.
Has he? Oh, not the one where
he was crying his eyes out.
I was going to say,
very sad to be leaving.
The one where he was crying.
He played. He got him to play. I've had the time of my life.
That's right. Yeah. Fords. This is the apparently the short list that Microsoft's not confirming, but from a source that's who knows, in the know, not in the know. Who knows? But Microsoft arrives at top 5 CEO shortlist. Ford's current chief, Alan Mulally.
He's an Australian.
Really? There you go.
Yes.
Former Nokia chief executive, Stephen Elop. His name's been bandied around quite a bit. Former Skype CEO, Tony Bates. Don't do that because Skype still is not working. And Satya Nadella, the company's cloud and enterprise chief. Do they go in-house or outhouse? Probably find out.
Microsoft.
I think they went outhouse when they put Ballmer in charge.
Probably. But I don't know. What do you reckon, Shane? In-house or outsource?
I reckon the guy from Ford would be good, to be honest.
Yeah, even though he may, I don't know him, so I'm just saying this off the top of my head. But even though he may not have a tech-orientated background, you think it matters?
I think he does because he doesn't obviously have the programming background. I don't believe, but he, like I said earlier, he's an Australian. He's the one that introduced all the technology into the Ford vehicles, and I believe Ford were one of the front runners that had it. Before Holden and Toyota and all the rest of it.
Software that's in there.
It's Microsoft software that's in there.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, he could be a good fit then. Oh,
Yeah.
my opinion's changed. That's
He's still going to be on internal.
Yeah, okay. The Skype dude.
No, maybe Elop or something.
Yeah, I think Elop. He's been getting the press, hasn't he? So yeah, maybe him. But time will tell when Ballmer finally gets the hint. Shane, what else have you got for us? You got anything else?
I do. I got heaps this week. The next story I'll do is another interview was done with the great man Steve Wozniak with the BBC this time. It goes on to say, if there's one man who talks tech sense, it's Woz. And never more so than the recent interview with the BBC. Woz would love it if Apple and Google played friendly, and makes a very good point. Goes on to say that he uses Siri as an example, where he asked Siri, go to Joe's diner, and Siri didn't know where it was, And then he asked the same thing of his Android device, and everything was sweet. So he's basically made the point that why, with technologies like that, why don't you share the technology? Why don't we team up, get whether it be Siri or whether it be the Android one, just get them whatever one works best. Just
Well,
put
I've
it on
got
both
Google
phones.
now on the iPhone as well, so you could probably use that. It does take commands like "OK Google," and then you can ask where to go, and it'll take them to the same place.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know if
not
it does.
integrated into like Siri is, but you can just start the app and away you go.
But that Google Now, like I tried that like a while ago when you told me about it. It doesn't do anything like what it does on the
I think
Android.
it's brilliant.
But on the
Oh,
iPhone,
on the iPhone it doesn't, no, because it can't get integrated into the operating system. That's the problem.
yeah, all it does is
Siri is integrated in, but Apple won't let Google integrate it, which is what I think Oz is saying. Let them get some hooks into the operating system, and then they can read your emails like they do with the Android one. They can read your calendar, and they can present good cards, and then have it integrated to the operating system so that it's running all the time, instead of you start the app and then you have a look at it, then you wait for it to calculate everything, and then it comes up with something that might be useful for you, and by then you're like, screw that, I can't be bothered, I could look that up myself.
But the problem with merging, or with sharing the technologies is, well, what do you share? How much do you share? Because as a company, Apple as a company and Google as a company, you've got to have a differentiation. Otherwise, well, people, like, if you've got the same product, well, why would people go either way? It's the same if it's the same thing, So I think the question of like, what do you share? How do you when, and why? And what do you share? I don't
think anybody likes Siri enough to want to keep it as a major point.
Yeah, look, I think
they could replace it with Google now, and that would be okay, and keep everything else separate.
Yeah, look, I think he's just a tech head at heart, isn't he? He just wants the best that there is, and no doubt that if the two technologies merged or you got the best that you could out of both, then
heaven would open up and the choir of angels would descend upon us singing carols.
And I think that's what Woz is looking at now. Yeah, he's looking for those.
Either that, or he's doing one of those things like with the record player.
He's rapping, man. He's rapping. All right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Shane.
That's probably a good and a bad thing with Woz. I mean, he's not a person. Not that I know the guy, but he doesn't seem to be a person that's driven by the money. He wasn't the business kind of guy with the partnership. He was the engineer. He was the geek behind the partnership.
The lover.
He did it for the love of it. Yeah.
Yeah, the lover of the technology, and that's what all of us, it would be good if this was to happen, but it's not going to happen. But it would be good.
Yeah, just buy an Android phone and forget about it.
That would be another good thing to happen.
They're on the slide.
I could actually do if I could actually do an interview with Woz, that would be good. That would be interesting.
That'd be good. Why don't? Oh,
just putting it out there, Woz.
You're as good as the BBC. Send him an edit. Do they have edits anymore? I don't know.
Eat it, open up your mouth and feed it. Eat out.
No wonder of that, yeah. All right, now look, I don't think I've got too many more. What's the time? Oh, geez, we're getting up there. I don't think I've got too many more. I've done all that. I've done the thing. I've done that. I've done everything. I think. Oh, I've got one more. I've got the Katy Perry story. Have you got any more, Jace? I think you've been gutted as well. Yep. Well,
time for me to shut up.
Yeah. Well, Shane's the winner this week with the most stories. Good on you, Shane. Go again. Have another one.
You want me to go again?
Yeah, sure.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'll do a feature internet might not use servers. The one that's at the bottom of my list, the one that's got the picture of the Cat5 connector thing.
Oh, okay. I've got that image coming right up. Coming right up.
Does that? All right. So a project named Pursuit aims to make the internet faster, safer, and more social by implementing a completely new architecture. The system does away with the need for computers to connect directly to servers, instead having individual computers being able to copy and republish content or on receipt. That would allow other computers to access data, or at least fragments of data. for many locations at once. That sounds like peer-to-peer sharing. That's because it is.
It's BitTorrent for the internet.
Yeah.
Yay.
Basically, they go on to say that it's they'll do away with URLs. They'll replace them with a thing called a uniform resource identifier, which I believe is how probably peer-to-peer software works at the moment. And they reckon it's going to be more reliable because obviously it's going to be no bottlenecks, so it'll be faster, more efficient, better all around.
Oh, that's good. Good. That's what we need. We need more of that sort of stuff. Now, look, I've just remembered something I should have done earlier on in the show, but hopefully it'll still be around next week, and I will do it earlier on in the show. But look, I had an email from the guys over in New Zealand from geeksphere.tv. That's spelt how it sounds, if you can spell sphere.
What is it that geeks fear anyway? Chicks?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them are big bug-eyed monsters, but most of the time it's just normal day-to-day
Weeping
things.
angels, right?
That's right. So they've got a competition. So geeksphere.tv, they've got a competition which they've opened up to Australians and listeners of the Aussie Tech Head podcast and viewers of the podcast, and now to win a Nokia Lumia 520. So all you got to do, just go to the geeksphere.tv, have a look at their webpage, and you'll find out how to do it. And all you got to do is follow those prompts. But pretty much all you do is just leave a review up on their iTunes podcast store account there, and just send them an email and take a screenshot and all that sort of stuff. So on November 26th, there we go, they will randomly select a winner. So November 26th. So yes, I'll put that in the show notes for next week, and I'll mention it a bit earlier just in case people dot off through the show. I know none of you guys do, but you know there might be.
We're terribly interesting.
There might be some nanas out there that tech head nanas or something. They might miss the end. All right. Yeah, Shane, you had another one.
I do. Right, so I've done that one. The next one I'll do is US authorities approve use of electronics on flights. And so it goes on to say, after years, will they or won't they, the US Federal Aviation Administration has finally given permission for airlines in the US to allow passengers to use personal electronics for the entirety of their flight. So currently, you have to have them turned off in landing and taking off.
Yep.
And in between, you have to have them in flight mode. According to this, you will now be able to have them on throughout the whole flight, but you have to have them in flight mode throughout the whole flight because it's still going to be illegal to have any sort of transmitter.
Right.
It goes on to say that even though they've sort of said, yes, it's okay, each airline has to get approval from the FAA, I think it is.
Yes.
FAA.
FCC.
And
FAA.
so it's going to be an airline by airline kind of thing. But once the floodgates open, it shouldn't be too hard for all the airlines to get approval.
Yes.
For devices under £2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the airline crew might tell passengers to shut off these devices during landing. Heavier items will have to be safely stowed during takeoff and landing. It is still recommended that you keep your phone in airplane mode, according to FA spokesman. Because what's that one? But how many times have you landed in a plane and all the phones start going off? Or in flight, as you're coming down, there's a phone ringing in the baggage compartment. Last one.
Or you have a 15-year-old that reckons that the rules don't apply to them, or the rules weren't the rules, and I actually had to show him where it was written. You had to have things
Prove it to me. I don't believe you.
Isn't
You're just trying to keep me down?
Isn't rule number one that Dad is always right, and every other rule is rule number one? Like just shut up. I'm right. Shut up. All right. Last one, Shane.
Okay. All right. So that was the airplane one. There's that one. There's the WAS one. The only one I've got left is the Australian Electoral Commission says e-voting is coming, but it's hard. Speaking to the ABC radio this morning, Electoral Commissioner Ed Killerstein.
Killerstein. We hate them round here.
Said that it's
we like
it
schooners.
is likely that Australians will experience some sort of e-voting platform in the future, but the road to digital democracy is a tough one. there's a trend or there is a trend or certainly a good debate that is needed about electronic voting, and it thinks that it's inevitable, but there's some e-voting in the future. Kilstein said that adding that throwing some internet at the problem isn't an instant fix. He goes on to say that basically what they'd have to do is send out 120,000 e-voting machines deployed across the country, and they'd have 33 days to do it because of the election date is never known, or it's like usually a short window. The notion of there's simple solution through e-voting needs to be considered. He added, so you're basically saying it's happening, it's down the track, but it's all a bit hard at the moment.
Just
Can't do it on your computer from home. You're still going to have to go down and stand in line and get your sausage and then press a button on a machine instead of a bit of paper by the look of it.
Yes. What's the difference? But,
Exactly.
I remember, during the last election.
Save the trees!
During the last election, Clive Palmer carrying on, going, it's Electoral Commission, rigged, all this sort of stuff. And it turns out he might have been right. All those votes that went missing over in his electorate or somewhere.
Western Australia.
Yeah, that's right.
WA,
1,400 votes went missing, and now he's taken them to court. And he was right. And he got on Q&A and he was carrying on about, how we're still using pencils and what's going on and all this sort of stuff. But good old Clive. I watched his DVD the other day, The Titanic 2. That was all right. He's actually was his title on the DVD. I don't know if anyone else watched it. I think maybe only people in Queensland might have got the DVD. I'm not sure where it went, but his title was Professor. I'm pretty sure it was Professor Palmer. I don't know if why is he a professor? I don't know. Maybe professors all over the place.
Professor of what?
That's right. Yeah, building dinosaurs at resorts. That's what he does.
Yep.
All right.
Are
they further up the food chain than doctors, or does it go professor and then doctor?
Oh, I don't know.
I think doctor and then professor.
Right, yeah, professor could be a bit higher up. Now, Katy Perry overtakes. How good is her song?
I like
Not Lady Gaga.
No, Katy Perry this time. She's overtaken Justin Bieber for Twitter followers. Have a guess how many she's got. She hasn't got. Look, I'll tell you, Aussie tech heads, we're giving her a run for her money, but she's pipping us at the moment. She's got 46,534,966 followers.
We'll be there soon.
We are. We're just a tad behind. Shay Bennett from the All Twitter News blog said Perry was now likely to be the first to get to 50 million, eh? I knew you'd love that story.
She's
excitement in the room.
Have you seen photos of her without makeup? It's like a completely different person.
Yes, I have seen a few unfortunate photos. Yeah,
but she's in the put with the customs department, or potentially in the put with them.
Yeah, why?
Because apparently her CD, it was actually mentioned on Sunrise. They sort of said, why when I opened the CD, I noticed that these seeds fell out. And she said, it was, a bit of a gimmick. I wanted to kind of add seeds in there. And it was biodegradable paper and all that kind of crap. And the customs department have jumped up and down saying, well, you can't bring that sort of stuff into the country. Yes, she should have declared it. Yeah. Oh, she's in trouble. Oh, well, that's what happens. Yeah. Did you see that on Sunrise, Jace?
No, mine was the same story, but I got it from a website.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's...
What's TV?
It's that box that sits in the corner. It changed shape.
Oh, it's the thing that people who don't have BitTorrent watch.
It used to be square, but now it's oblong. You don't hear it called oblong anymore, do you? What happened to oblong? I like oblong. All right, that's about it.
It's a rectangle. An oblong is a shape that's an irregular shape, isn't it? Whereas a rectangle has got regularity to it.
But I thought a rectangle was an oblong. Let's Google.
Yeah,
Can we Google oblong?
And I'm a bit irregular. I just have some more fibre.
I'm going to Google oblong. I've got to see what an oblong is. An oblong.
Does everybody notice that the sun's setting behind me?
Yeah, that's nice.
So these are live photos, Shane, from the webcam.
Yeah. I think they refresh every couple of minutes or something.
Oh, yeah, sweet.
Cottesloe Beach, if anyone's interested.
No point in me showing your live webcam of here. It'd be just dark. Oblong, a rectangle with length greater than its width, not a square. The word is sometimes used of any shape longer than it is wide. There's an Angus oblong. Oh, that's an American author and actor. Oh, I thought it was a name of an oblong.
I thought it was a type of steak.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm going to go. McDonald's will be jumping on that one soon. An oblong hamburger. Imagine that one, eh? But no, he's an American. But if you wanted to know, Angus Oblong is an American author and actor. Oh, what did he star in, I wonder? Let's have a look. Let's have a... Oh, do you want to see a picture of... Let's have a look.
Uh-oh.
Let's have a look at a picture of Angus Oblong. Here we go. There he is. What's going on?
Oh, it's good old Angus Oblong.
And all those people that have got a fear of clowns. Sorry
He's
about
from
that.
North Kiltown.
Yeah, so there he is. He's only 37. Oblong's book, Creepy Susie and 13 Other Tragic Tales for Troubled Children.
They would be after they see that.
Oh, I reckon. What else has he got going on? Nothing. All right. Well, that's the end of the show. All right, good stuff. Thanks, Jace.
Down the rat hole.
That's it. Thanks, Jace. Thanks for coming in. Thanks, Shane.
No worries.
Thanks for moseying on in and giving up your nice, beautiful afternoon. And yeah, cool. All right, so you join us next time or whenever we're on Thursday night, 7:30 Queensland time, aussietechheads.com.au/live. You can catch us on the Twitter at the show is at Aussie Tech Heads. I'm at Glenn Goodman with 2 N's. Jason is at Warlock, and Shane is at Shane 1973.
Tree.
With
And send me that email, those photos, Stuart.
Yeah, so Shane with a Y. And or you can just email us. Email us all at whoever we are at aussietechheads.com.au. You know what I mean. God. All right, so until next episode, 1 a day for a year. See you next time. Ta-da.
Bye.
Bye.
Hopefully.
Bye.
Join us in next week in the lounge. All right, cool. There goes them. There's the show notes. That's them. That's cool. Okay. Okay, cool. Oh, better stop the recording. We don't want any more blue screens of death before I save them.
Run out of Western Digital hard drive space.
I don't mind WDs. I do prefer Seagates.